Large, long-lived marine animals, like sharks and rays, are amongst the world's most threatened groups, primarily due to overfishing. In small-scale tropical fisheries, endangered species are often caught in unselective nets and lines, which are primarily targeting other fish. However, in these small fisheries, households rely heavily on marine resources, using everything they catch for their food and income, including endangered species. This situation creates trade-offs between marine biodiversity and the livelihoods and well-being of coastal communities. Conservation incentives offer a potentially effective and socially just way to protect nature. Local communities shouldn't have to bear the brunt of the costs of conservation. An incentive program in Indonesia provides fishers with cameras to show them releasing critically endangered wedgefish and hammerheads that become entangled in their nets and lines. In return, the fishers receive payments to compensate them for the lost income, with the aim of delivering biodiversity and well-being outcomes at the same time. But how do we know that it's working? Monitoring reported live releases only would tell us it's been a great success. 71% of wedgefish that were caught were released, and 4% of hammerheads. However, incentives can impact behaviour in unforeseen ways. Instead of just monitoring releases, we conducted a controlled scientific study on the impact of the incentive program. Fishers were randomly split into two groups, with one group being offered the compensatory payments, while the other group continued to fish as usual without compensation. We then compared retained catches in the treatment group versus the control group. And using this approach, we detected that a handful of fishers were in fact catching more of the species that were meant to be released in order to secure more payments, diminishing the positive impact of the program. After this was taken into account, it turned out that wedgefish mortality only decreased by 25%, while retained hammerheads actually increased by 44%. This is why rigorous impact evaluations of conservation programs are so important. Conservation programs are often trying to change human behaviour within complex dynamic systems. Even the most careful effort to plan conservation programs may fall short, and real-world situations are never quite what we might expect. Because of our findings, the program has now adapted. Compensation is based on the sizes of released individuals, and the numbers of payments that any one vessel can receive per week is capped. Plus, a new gear swap scheme has been launched to avoid catching these critically endangered species in the first place. It's a great example of how researchers and conservation practitioners can work together within a culture of learning and adaptive management to improve outcomes for biodiversity and people.